Hello and welcome to Coffee and Craft. It is episode 7, I think. So if you've been here before, you know the drill. If you're new here, hello. My name's Kim. How are you? Coffee and Craft is a video that I do once a month and it's a bit of everything really. I show you my crafts, hence the craft. I drink coffee, a bucket of coffee actually, hence the coffee. And I also just talk shop. So some like newsy bits from my own business and from Etsy or anywhere else that I think might be useful to you. And then at the end we tend to sort of dive into a bit of a meatier topic. The topic this month being, not everybody wants a 6-figure business. Yeah, we're doing that one today, but not yet. First off, my makes and whips for July, because that's where we're at. So my makes and whips section is going to be quite light this month because I didn't really make too much. The main make was this thing, based off this thing. It's me! I have no idea how old I was there. 6 or 7. I think 7, I think. And what was really funny about this, I forgot that I had nearly blonde hair for such a long period of my life. But there you go. So this was my line illustration of that. And the regulars of this channel might remember this quote. If you wouldn't say it to someone that you loved, if you wouldn't go back in time to little you and say it to little you, don't say it to big you. So yeah, that was pretty much my make. And I've realised why I do this to myself. It's because I don't like not having something on a hoop to stitch. And if I don't have something on the hoop to stitch, I usually go to my crochet. And I have stopped crocheting this month because I've run out of some of my favourite colours and I didn't buy any more wool. But, whee! Oh no, that didn't work. Okay, it's very long. This is my first row. Actually, let me just take a step back and show you properly. Right. This is going to get blurry in a minute because I'm not stood in front of my camera, but you get the idea. This is roughly how long it will end up being, which is a nice length for a cardigan, I think. Although, from what I can see in the camera, it's a lot more orange looking than I expected. It'll be fine. See, so you get the idea. This is basically to sort of have a gauge as to how long it's going to be. I wasn't sure if this was long enough. I'm now concerned that it's too long. But, you know, I can always take a square off if that's the case. We shall see. Anyway, I'm going by this because I've said in the past I want to wear this in the autumn. And I basically turn into a walking blanket woman in the autumn and winter. So if I can wear something that looks and feels like a blanket, I will be happy. So anyway, yes, I have completed my first row and I'm very happy with that. I should have some new wool in the next few days and so I can continue with it. Oh, and before I complete my makes and whips, some people did ask me if this pattern was going to be in the shop. No, I don't crochet well. This is my for me craft and I am not nearly good enough to offer anybody any advice. However, there is a lady, she goes by the name of the Pigeon's Nest. You go to Instagram, you can find her there, just stick in the Pigeon's Nest and she'll come straight up. It's her pattern and she does know what she's talking about. So if you are interested in also making a granny square cardigan, you can go to her website, which you can find by following the link on her Instagram account. And she sells hard copies and she also does a printable download, which is what I paid for. And it's fab. It's fab. So she also did the pattern for the snood that I sometimes wear when I'm cold. So yes, if anybody is interested, go over it and have a look. She's a legend and I'm enjoying myself greatly, except for when the dog gets it, but let's move on. Okay, news. I feel like I need glasses. Okay, the news. Oh, and FYI, I mix in my own personal business news with regular newsy stuff. Okay, so the first part is my own business. I'm changing up my business model. How do I know this? Because I've written it down. Collections will be handmade only. I am so bad at organising myself to launch regular collections. So basically what I mean by the handmade stuff, I mean the more slow made creative things like my project bags, which I haven't made in the longest time, the finished hoops, that kind of thing. They are going to be launched in drops, whereas things like embroidery patterns, the stick and stitch patches, that kind of thing, they will be just launched straight to the shop. So this is mainly going to affect my subscribers. Subscribers tend to get a 24-hour sneak peek of things before they go up, and they get a discount as well, and they get an email the moment they go up, so that they've got a bit of a... They get their foot in the door a little quicker than most in case they want something. But like I say, with things like the PDF patterns and things that I intend to keep in the shop as an evergreen item, my... these are steaming up. Yeah, they don't really count because they're not going to really run out. So I'm just going to launch them in the shop. And if you want to know when they're being added, you can follow me on Instagram. Unless it completely implodes and everybody stops using it in the next month or so, because I haven't even been playing the Instagram game for the longest time and they're still managing to annoy me. What's next? For the month of August, I'm going to play with posting an extra video a week. So there's going to be the main video on the Monday, and then on the Thursday? I think on the on the Thursday, I'm going to... Will it be the Friday? One of those days, there's going to be a shorter video. It's going to be... I'm going to aim for about 2 to 3 minutes. Oh God, why did I put this on the list? Self-assessment. If you're in the UK, by I think it's April 2024, any business that is VAT registered or earns £10,000 a year, you are going to have to start doing 4 tax returns a year, and then at the end of the year, a kind of final declaration. It sounds like a complete and utter pain in the neck. I'm not quite there yet, and I don't think it will affect me, but here's the thing. I'm not quite there yet. And this is coming into play in April 2024. So I could well be at the threshold that I will have to do this as well then. Just be aware that that's a thing here in the UK. And if you want more information, I recommend speaking to a qualified, trusted tax professional, which isn't me. I mean, I'd like to think that I'm trusted, but qualified in tax? No. Another one for us UK peeps. The Royal Mail are planning a strike. They don't know when yet. They haven't made a date. If you're watching this in the future, this is being filmed in July 2022, so chances are it's been and gone. But just be aware that that is quite likely to come up in the near future, and you might have to add things like an announcement in your shop, or change your thank you messages, or just let your customers know that if they purchase from you, things might be a little bit delayed. Just keep an eye out for that one. This one got me excited for all of 2 seconds. Etsy announced the introduction of Explore. I got an email, I read it, and I was like, it's here! It's not. It's available. They rolled it out to everyone. Everyone being everyone in the US who uses Apple. So not for us dirty Android users yet, I'm afraid, and not for us dirty Android users outside of the US. So come on, Etsy, come on, what the bloody hell are you playing at? You've been working on this forever. It had better be so good. This isn't very professional and newsworthy of me, is it? And the other one, which is Etsy related, is domestic and global pricing is here, which I don't think I've been paying attention because I thought that had been here for a little while already. So basically, if you are a seller outside of the US, you can set up different shipping prices, for different countries. And I remember getting a survey from Etsy about this a while ago, and I thought, oh, this will be interesting if they bring it in. They're trying to help people get around the challenge of high shipping fees so that they can still offer free shipping. And this is a very clever way around it. I've got to give it to them. However, there's always a blimmin' however. At the moment, you can set a domestic price, so for me that would be here in the UK, and then you can set an everywhere else price, which is annoying because I personally don't ship everywhere else. I ship to the UK, I ship to the US, and I ship to Canada, and that's it. So until Etsy work on this a little bit more, and I believe they're planning to, and make it so that you can select certain prices for certain countries, I personally will not be taking part in this. It's one of these things that has a lot of potential, and if I was able to set separate pricing for the US and Canada that sort of include the shipping there, I absolutely would, but I don't want to ship everywhere. So at the moment, the postage stays. Oh, and it's not available in the US at the moment. And so endeth the news. And onto the topic, not everybody wants a six-figure business. I was watching someone's stories on Instagram, and they were talking about how much money they wanted to make this month or every month going forward, which is not something you usually see people talk about. People are very rarely that open with how much money that they're trying to make. And it was £800, which is not a lot, especially when you see so many videos about making thousands of dollars on Etsy with your first fart and all the rest of it. It seemed normal. And some of us, let's be brutally honest, some of people watching will still be watching this going, that's a lot of money. This is why I make my stats videos, because I was getting sick of seeing so many videos on how to skyrocket your income, how to 10x your income, how to make more money, more. If the idea of having a six-figure business lights you up and makes you feel all motivated and excited, then that is, I nearly swore, that is flipping fantastic and good luck to you. On the other side, there isn't anything that I could find of where people are talking about running a small business. Because small is bad. It shows that you don't have any ambition. It shows that you're not trying, blah, blah, blah. No. And this is why I wanted to make this video, because income is one part of it. It's just one part. Not everybody creates a business to make so much money. Some of us just want to make a certain amount of money, and a certain amount of money doesn't mean that we're settling, because a certain amount of money can still be life-changing, and it can also allow for other things. So many of us leave corporate jobs because we want more time. We want time throughout the week. We don't want to just keep living for the weekend or waiting for that holiday that we've got booked. There are other things that people will prioritize over shed loads of money. And unfortunately, this is clearly my own fault, but I don't seem to be able to talk about this topic without coming across as somebody who is very anti six-figure business. Again, that's on me. I apologize, because I'm not actually against it at all. I just feel that the conversation is very skewed to that, and that there's not enough spoken about the other option, because there are other options, and neither is better than the other, because no business and no person is the same as the other. So what will work for one person is not going to work for another. This is what I hear when someone asks me if I want to pursue a six-figure business. I think of having to spend more time and doing more work, because it is work, and the extra legalities of it, the tax implications, the very real possibility of having to hire other people or draw other people into the whole mix, which just instantly makes my shoulders feel tight and bunch up my fist. I work best alone. Yeah, I know, that's not a badge of honor. It can hold me back, but I like doing things by myself. I don't want other people getting involved. They don't do things right. I know how I like things done, and I like them done a certain way, and other people come in and they stress me out. So yeah, that's what I think of when I think of a six-figure business. I want my business to feel calm, and I don't feel calm when I think of having to reach that goal. Now, I've got to say, to be fair, to add a little bit of balance to this, I've never actually run a six-figure business, so I don't know for a fact that you can't have calm and simple and that level of income. But I do suspect that there's a certain amount of work and time and effort and sacrifice that goes into it, because I know that there is a certain amount of all of that that has gone into building the business that I currently have. So to make it even bigger, it just seems common sense that some of that would increase. And I should also point out another thing that I know I've said in a previous video, and that is that I created this business because right now, in this season of my life, I need time and flexibility. I want to be with my daughter. She's growing up fast. So the time that I have when she's this small-ish, I want as much time as I can. And if I were to grow the business to that extent, it would take away from that time. So I would be actually giving up the very thing that I left my office job to get, which leads me nicely to this. If it's all dependent on what season of your life you are currently in, because if you are in one where you would prioritize time over income, that doesn't have to stay that way forever. For example, my daughter is going to grow up, and because I won't need the amount of flexibility and the amount of time for the reasons that I currently do, maybe I'll think, now's a good time to work on the business and boost it up a little bit. Maybe not go for the six-figure business, but who knows, maybe I will change my mind. That's the good thing. Your business should evolve with you. In a nutshell, nothing is set in stone. And I think this is another reason why I feel so confident in being able to say, I don't want a six-figure business, because I know that I don't right now. But I also know that should I change my mind, I can. To bring it back to that lady on Instagram who talked about wanting to make £800 a month, I think that's why I felt so motivated by watching that story. It was just, it felt good. That is not my figure, but it felt more in line with what I want to achieve than any of these 10x your income videos, that I've seen. In a sweet little nutshell, it all comes down to what success looks like for you. For me personally, it looks like having the time to feel unrushed, having a business that is simple enough that I can visualize it in my mind's eye without feeling overwhelmed, and having enough money to pay the bills, save some, invest some. And this is something that I hold dear. Also enough to be able to support other creators without feeling like it's taking away from my own basic needs. The current state of everything has kind of made this a harder target to hit, but I have at least got my basic needs met. So my business is constantly growing. It's growing slowly but consistently, and the foundations seem to be pretty solid. So while I may not be there yet, that's what I'm aiming for. And if this video has lit a spark in you in any way, shape or form, and you would like some help on how to come up with a personalized roadmap for reaching your own version of success, give that video a watch and I will see you there. Ta-ra!